Hey, welcome to another edition of Talking Preps Overtime. I'm Langston Words Jr. Today, we're talking a little basketball, even though I still got the football dudes behind me. I'm going to switch that for basketball, but I got the football dudes behind me. Today, we have one of my Talking Preps co-hosts. You guys all know Coach Cristie Mitchell, South Mecklenburg. Should be back with us, I hope, during Talking Preps basketball. Yes?
Sure.
Maybe. She's not sure. And we've also got one of her good friends, Coach Jermaine Walker of Garinger High School. These two put together the Charlotte Hoops Challenge, and just kind of tell people how it started. It's one of the biggest tournaments, I think, in the Southeast, and you guys were ranked at one point top 10 in the country, I think, by Max Preps. Coach Mitchell, just talk about how this thing came to be and some of your memories of it over the years.
Well, in 2010, Jermaine and I were both coaching at Waddell High School when it was still a high school. And he had a really good team that year and, wanted to host a tournament. And he came to me and said, hey, you want to help me? You're a good organizer. You want to help me do this? And so I said, okay, we can give it a try. So the first year we had 8 teams and they were all boys teams. And it was a pretty decent event. We were pretty happy with what we did. And we said, hey, we can probably continue to do this. And so we continued to grow each year. And it grew to I want to say it was year 3 that we had the number 1 kid in the country, the number 1 team in the country. Huntington Prep came down with a tall kid named Andrew Wiggins, who we had no idea was going to blow up the way he did. And so he was our first pro.
Okay, let me stop you. Who showed up in the gym that year, though, that really made it blow up?
Well, the biggest part of the event was Michael Jordan came to the game. His brother came up to me and said, Cristie, Mike's on the way. We want to get in the back door. And I said, who? He said, Mike. I said, who is Mike? He said, Mike Jordan. And I thought for a second, I was like, oh my gosh, you mean Michael Jordan? And he was like, yeah, he's coming. And I was like, oh yes, okay, we can do this. So I was really, really excited, of course. He actually came to 2 of our games, year 3 and year 4, he showed up. And so of course I got pictures with him for those 2 years, which was probably the highlight over the past 12 years of the Charlotte Hoops Challenge was Michael Jordan coming.
Michael Jordan from getting mobbed at your event?
Well, he came in the back door. He kind of sat with his family kind of over on the side. We had one of our security associates that was working kind of, just stand around and make sure that kids weren't trying to run up to him. And he came in so quietly that I think it took a while before people realized that he was in the gym. I think somebody actually put a picture online or did something like that to make people realize that, oh my gosh, Michael Jordan is here. But yeah,
a lot of people don't get their moment with Michael. And what was your moment like? And was he different than you expected? What was it like?
No, he was very nice. I was probably stuttering and, was just standing there. I probably acted like a 15-year-old little girl. But he was very nice. He took a picture with me. He, thanked me for letting him and his family in. I mean, he came with the whole crowd, his mom, his girlfriend, I don't even know who all these people were, but we let him in the back door and let him in. And he watched his nephew was playing, and I don't recall the school he played for.
I think he was at Davidson Day.
Davidson Day.
Yeah.
So his nephew was playing, so he came to watch that game, but it was pretty exciting.
Yeah, Jermaine, did you think that was the moment you guys kind of went over the top of Michael Jordan's in the building?
I do. I think that gave us the credibility that we needed. And I think our brand was beginning to be recognized after that showing by Mike.
What happened after that with the tournament? Was it easier to get teams for you?
Yes, very much so. And I think Cristie used those photos to kind of bring some brand recognition as well. She kind of used it. She used the moment very well. But we kind of started to get more national attention, and more national teams wanted to participate. So I think Mike had a lot to do with that.
Yeah. Cristie, as you think back, some of the best players you've had at the event, kind of talk about some of them. We'll put them on the screen there.
Definitely Andrew Wiggins. I think that was the year that really, like Jermaine was talking about, gave us the credibility. Whenever you see a kid like Andrew Wiggins, and the same year, Andrew Wiggins and Joel Embiid were like number 1 and number 3 in the country, and they were number 1 and number 3 draft picks that year.
Yeah.
So that was a really big year for us. And, every year we have so many teams reaching out, wanting to come and play. And really, we've kind of changed our mission with this. And, we're named the Charlotte Hoops Challenge. And for a long time, we were bringing in, half of our teams were out of state, bringing in some of the top kids in the country to play. And we really noticed that, these kids here in Charlotte, our local kids, that's what we really are here for. We really want to give our local, athletes the opportunity to play on the big screen and, play with, big crowds and, everything that comes along with the Charlotte Hoops Challenge. So we kind of scaled back with allowing the out-of-state teams to come, and we really wanted to focus more on North Carolina teams and people right here. So out of our 35 teams this year, I believe that 33 of them are right here in the Charlotte Observer coverage area.
Yeah, has that affected attendance at all? Some people would think if you don't have the big guys,
it's actually done the opposite. The year we had Andrew Wiggins, we didn't have a sellout crowd. You would think that Andrew Wiggins would sell out the gym, and he didn't. But the year that we have High Point Christian and Providence Day play, and it's a sellout. I'm expecting this year when we have Chambers and Combine matchup.
Hold on, let's get to the matchups a little bit later on.
Okay.
Coach Walker, talk about that decision. I mean, you're a boys coach. We all want to see the best players around, and all of a sudden you guys are not focusing on that. Did you think that was a risky move when you made it, and were you surprised that it paid off the way it did?
I did, and I think that's what makes Cristie and I such great partners. A lot of times we think differently, which is a plus. So this was mainly Cristie's idea to the Amazon guy just delivering some stuff that we ordered for the event. So the move I kind of questioned, because like you said, the name was what I thought was getting us recognition. And when we've had the Rock School from Florida, we've had, of course, Jamal Murray from Canada. So when we tried to reach among our state, beyond our state, then I didn't think it would work as well as it did. But now that I see the vision, and I think we're going to stay with it. We still try to have a national platform with buckets, so we can revisit that if you like or not. But the Charlotte teams is where we would like to kind of concentrate and target.
Yeah, no, I think that's a really good thing, because they're not getting that attention, as Cristie pointed out. Now, Cristie, you said year 3 you guys added girls. What was behind that decision, and how does that work out for you? And I'll put up some of your key girls page again.
So after the first 2 years, and when we realized that, hey, this is something that we can do for years to come, we actually kind of rewinding a little bit. We met with Dave Tellep, who was, at the time, he was the ESPN writer for high school sports, and he was one of mine and Jermaine's friends. Yeah. And now I believe he's with the San Antonio Spurs as their recruiting coordinator. And we met with him and said, we want to do something. What do you think? What is the need? And he said, Thanksgiving. And I know, Langston, we've always gone back and forth. This is your biggest week for high school football.
You playing on Friday again.
And you've told me that for 12 years. And, we didn't know how much it was going to affect us. But, every year it affects, do you go to the football game on Friday night, or do you come to the Charlotte Hoops Challenge on Friday night? But while we were, meeting with Dave, and he said, Thanksgiving, everybody does Christmas events. So I want to see something preseason Thanksgiving event. So that's kind of the route we went. And on year 2, when we realized that there was a need for this, then I said, okay, hold on. If we're going to do boys, then we got to add girls, because if this is going to be something that is continuously going on year after year, then, my girls and the girls in Charlotte and the area need to also be, on the same platform.
Sure. So there's no chance I can get you to play maybe Wednesday, Friday?
We actually looked at that. We looked at that when you were begging for you were begging for a city championship.
Yeah.
And we needed 3 days, and we thought, maybe we could do Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and we weren't quite able to get the kinks worked out. That might be something in the future, but that could be a possibility as well.
As I said in the pre-show, we got a kind of a hold around Christmas. That's a 3-day thing. You could even start before Christmas and finish after Christmas. I don't know. I'm just saying. So, Cristie, what's in the future for this event? What do you see moving forward with the Charlotte Hoops Challenge?
Well, we have gotten to about to be the biggest we can be. This year we have 35 teams, and we're using Myers Park as our host school, where they have 2 gyms. We're able to have games starting at 12 o'clock and pretty much going all day long. There's 22 total games packed in the 2 days. So, growing it, I don't think necessarily is an option. I think 35 is probably the biggest we can be. Mm-hmm. But we want to continue providing a platform for the student athletes to really have a great experience. In years past, we've done media days, and our media days have been huge hits. It's been able to help us produce our magazines. We bring, the best kids in. One year we did Samaritan's Feet. Brought them in for a day of volunteering, and they did the volunteering, they did interviews, they did pictures. They were just able to hang out together. And it's really cool because a lot of the kids are friends. So, that was a big buzz. Are you going this weekend? And, a couple of years it's been at Camp Green Park across from Barry. Mm-hmm. And we've had a dunk contest there, a DJ, and just having fun. And that was the biggest thing that I was disappointed in this year is, even though we came back, we made a decision not to do a media day, just with the pandemic still kind of on the rise. And we didn't want to be the reason why basketball teams were quarantined. So we didn't feel that was important. But hopefully next year we'll bring it back together. We'll have another media day. It's going to, just to bring the buzz around it and have some excitement. Now,
are fans going to be able to come?
Yes.
No mask, full attendance?
So we are full attendance, we're full capacity, but everybody in the gym must wear a mask since we are in a CMS facility. Even if your team does not require you to wear a mask, CMS does require student athletes to wear a mask. So you have to wear a mask
while playing.
Yes, on the court while playing. So just like last year. Mm-hmm. So some teams aren't doing that now, some of the private schools. But since we are using a CMS facility, we have to go by CMS rules. And so every person in the facility at all times must wear a mask.
Honestly, I see a lot of the kids with the mask on, but they're down here when they're playing. They're not over their nose. But let's get into the matchups, Cristie. I mean, I was thinking this is probably one of the best. This is probably the second or tied for first best schedule, in my opinion, you guys have had. But kind of run me through Friday in both gyms real quick.
Okay. So gym 1 and gym 2, we have games starting at 12 o'clock. We have games are a little bit off. So that way there's never a downtime. If you are at halftime in one gym, you can walk over and check out some games and some action in the other gym. So that's why the games aren't all at the same time. We have South Meck girls versus Charlotte Christian starting off in the first gym with Butler and West Charlotte boys in the second gym. And the biggest games that night, of course, are our, I think, Combine Concord Academy starting at 4:30 is going to be a huge matchup, as well as Myers Park and Shelby. Those are 2 of the top girls teams that are around. And then Myers Park, West Charlotte. If you want to see that game, you might want to get there early and get some And what we're telling people is, their armband is good all day. So if you come at 12 and you want to leave and come back and, come back and forth, that's fine. But even if you buy that armband that's good all day, if you come back for that 7:30 game and we're at capacity, you're not, we can't guarantee readmission.
I will tell people, if you plan to go see the last 3 games, you better be there at 3 o'clock. Because it's going to be can't breathe, can't move from 4 o'clock till close. So
exactly.
I would get there early.
And then in gym 2 with we have a Buckets brand. Buckets brand is one of our sponsors. Right. And so last year we started the Buckets brand bracket, and Grace Christian versus Westminster Catawba and Durham Academy versus Charlotte Christian. Those are the 2 teams that are the 4 teams that are in the Buckets brand. And then on Saturday, they'll play in the championship.
Okay. So winners and winners and losers and losers.
Yep.
Saturday. The last three games in Gym 1 really intriguing. Combine and National Power, they lost a lot of players, but they're still really, really good. Concord Academy is huge. They got a couple 7-footers. Marsh Park girls, Barbara Nelson feels like she's got a really good team. And when a 9-time state champion tells you she's got a really good team, you believe it. Shelby's coming back from state champion. They got 3 dynamite guards, as tough as anybody in the front court. And then
there is one mistake on there. It was the Butler. It's not West Charlotte. It's Butler West Cabarrus.
Butler West Cabarrus
at 12:30 in Gym 2.
Okay, I'll fix that. Butler West Cabarrus. Okay, but then the Marsh Park West Charlotte game is a nightcap. Two schools with huge fan bases and 2 schools that legitimately have reason to think they can win a state championship, right?
That's exactly right.
Yes, that's gonna be one heck of a matchup. And then let me pull up night 2 because that's just as good. While I'm doing that, how do you guys come up with these matchups?
Oh gosh, like so we have a puzzle that we put together every year, and it's so exciting after we get our teams together and we put the matchups together, and then you come out with the Sweet 16. We get excited about that. We're like, wow, we have 9 of the top 16 girls teams are in the Sweet 16 or 8 of the top boys teams. So we get excited about that. Mm-hmm. But really there's a big puzzle that we put together, and we sit over somewhere at a restaurant for lunch and have all the teams on little slips of paper. And we sit there and play with puzzles, and we sit there and figure out, well, this team versus this team, or this kid versus this kid. So it's kind of a formula that we've put together, and, it's really getting difficult with all the kids that transfer. Yeah. And so we may think that this is a great matchup, and then you're like, oh no, this kid transferred to this school now. And so it's pretty much luck.
It happens. So let's talk about Saturday. What are you seeing on Saturday? I really like those last couple of games on Saturday.
Yeah. So Saturday is also going to be a big day for us. The Buckets Brand Championship is at 5 and 6:30. So the teams, like we said earlier, the winners play the winners. Yep. For the Buckets Brand Championship. Our last champions was Davidson Day when Ron Johnson was the coach, now at Providence Day. Mm-hmm. So the big games this day, I think all of them are big games. I think that Catholic Girls versus Cannon to start out the day is going to be huge. Yeah. Both of those teams are really strong and have some really great players.
Yeah, Catholic Girls, they have one of the best players in the country, and I think their team has a chance to win a 4A state championship. And I think most people probably are not going to know about them, but could be a coming out party playing a really good Cannon team that won a state championship last year. So that's a phenomenal matchup.
Yeah. And then, I think all of them are, but especially, the Chambers girls and Lake Norman, Chambers defending state champions, like Norman. Two-time. They're looking for it again, and they've pretty much reloaded their squad. They're going to be strong. Lake Norman has a really good team. I was able to face them twice this summer, once in a summer league and then once in fall league, and they're a really good team as well. The Chambers Combine game is the one that everybody's talking about.
Those could be the 2 best teams in North Carolina.
Absolutely.
Going against each other. Regular, high school teams, not some of the post-grad type teams. But yeah, Chambers is number 1 in our poll. Combine is number 1 in our non-association poll. So that's a phenomenal matchup. You guys did a really good job with the matchups at your dinner with the slips of paper. So congratulations on that. So tell me, what are you most looking forward to besides the games with the Hoops Challenge? What are the things that you most look forward to?
I'm looking forward to basketball, feeling like basketball again. Yeah. When I think of last year, I don't even really consider that a season. I look back on, this is my 24th year coaching, and it's kind of like last year just didn't happen. Mm-hmm. And us having to cancel the Charlotte Hoops Challenge. For us at South Meck, we played 7 games. We were 5-2 last year, and that was it. And, we're like, normally we're playing, you put in the paper, we're averaging 20 wins a game. And my girls were like, well, how is that when we only won 5 last year? I'm like, well, it's before the 5 games. But I'm just looking forward to basketball being back, and hopefully that we continue the season with, no quarantines and no teams being really affected. And just, we're really excited. I think the fans are excited to be back in the gym, full capacity. There's no more, you get 25 fans in the crowd. And so that's what I'm really looking forward to. This is the first big event of the year. And for some teams, this is the first game of the season. And, we just hope that the fans come out. We hope that they understand that we are, trying to follow protocols that, I think that's going to be maybe my biggest fear, is that people are not going to want to wear masks, or people are not going to want to, go by the protocols. And, as tournament directors, we have to go by what, is governed by CMS. And so that's what we're going to go with. But we just hope that everybody comes out, has a great time. The kids are able to play, have some good games, and everybody stays healthy.
All right, Coach. Look, thanks for joining us. We'll look forward to seeing you this weekend.
Thank you so much. Have a great